Hey folks, welcome back to another Revisited review with yours truly, Sam Healey, right here on the Dice Tower. Today we're going to be taking another look at Jamaica. Now, 13 years ago, Tom and I did episode 46 of Miami Dice, and Tom gave it 1.5 hooks up. I gave it 2 eye patches up. So, let's get down to the table and take a look, and then we'll come back and see if this has held its weight over the years. So here I have a 3-player game set up, and there are a couple of things out here that are not in the base game. These little treasure chests were a gift from a fan, and I just wanted to show you that these are the tokens that come in the actual game. You won't get these little 3D things. Those were a gift from a fan, and I appreciate that. But I just wanted to point that out. Additionally, this little attack die, or rather what we use as the defense die now, was something that I picked up somewhere along the way. I don't even actually know where it came from. But there you have it. I don't know about regular retail versions at this point, but that's the only real difference that I'm aware of. In order to set up the game, everybody is going to take their hold from the box, and then you're going to have 3 gold and 3 food put in 2 of those holds. You'll also choose a deck of cards that is fashioned after a famous pirate of yore, and you're also going to give that a shuffle and draw 3 cards as your starting hand. You're also going to randomly determine who gets the first player token, and now you are ready to begin. The person with the first player token is going to be the active person of the round, and what that basically means is they are going to take these 2 dice and they're going to give them a roll. And then the numbers that they come up with are going to be determined. Either one is going to be in the day and one is going to be at the night. The reason you're having to choose that is because everybody has these cards in their hand which tell them that what they can do in the morning and then what they can do at night. As you're going to be able to look at the card, this is what you'll do in the morning, and this is what you'll do at night. And as you can tell, there are different things on the cards. Red arrows mean that you're going to move backwards. Green arrows are going to mean that you move forward. And any of these resource token symbols are going to mean that you take that many of that kind of resource. So, for example, if I wanted to, this wouldn't necessarily be a good idea, but I could choose this, and then I'll play this card down, and now I am ready to go. While I'm choosing my card, however, after I've chosen what's going to be in the day and what's going to be at the night, everybody else is going to choose one of their cards as well. Let's just say that this person chooses that one, and this person chooses that one. Now, in turn order, starting with the person with the first player marker, I am going to start by doing what I said I was going to do. Let me put it out here so you can see. I'm going to get 2 cannons. Cannons are helpful in combat. They will actually add to your die rolls. And then I'm going to get 1 gold. Like I said, this isn't going to be necessarily a great move. It's just to exemplify what I'm going to do. They are going to be able to get 2 food. Notice that whenever I get the same object, I cannot place it in a hold that's already there. I have to place it in a different hold. If your holds are full, you can replace one kind of resource for a different kind of resource, but you can never swap out the same kinds of resources. And then they're also going to get 1 cannon. And then this person over here got, 1 cannon, and 2 cannons, and then 1 gold, like so. So on that round, nobody actually chose to move because these were pretty lower numbers. Let's buff up some of our resources first. Then, after everybody has gone, this will go into a discard pile. Everybody will draw 1 more card to replace the one that they played. The first player marker will switch to the next person in clockwise order. And then we go through another round. So on Red's turn, we're going to go ahead and just roll the dice again, and we have a 4 and a 2. Red is going to choose to put 2 in the morning and 4 at night, and then they're going to play this card out. And after everybody has chosen their card, red will go ahead and go first. They have chosen to get 2 food in the morning, and then they're going to move forward 4 at night. So red will move forward 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Whenever you end one of your moves on a place that has a treasure chest, you're going to remove that treasure chest from the board and take a card from the middle. These cards do different things. They could be blessed treasure, which is going to give you positive points. They could be extra things, like this one is an extra hold that you can have on your ship. It'll give you sometimes a special ability. This will double your strength in combat. This one will give you +1 card that you can have in your hand from turn to turn. And then you're also going to eventually have some treasures that are going to be cursed treasure that will give you negative points at the end of the game. So blue is going to go next, and they have chosen also to take 2 food and then move forward 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. They have landed in a space where there is another pirate, and if that happens, they will open fire. Now, one of the things about opening fire is that you're going to roll this die. Before you roll the die, you can use a number of cannons before you make your roll to add 1 per cannon used to the die roll that you have. So, since blue is the attacker, they're going to choose first. They're going to use 2 cannons to add to their die roll. So they go ahead and roll their die, and so they rolled a 6 plus 2. That's going to be an 8 combat strength altogether. Well, red, as the defender, says, well, okay, I'll use my 1 cannon and roll the die. And so they have 2, 3 to the 8. Of course, the red player has lost. So the blue player is going to be able to take the contents of one of their holds, but if the person who lost has a treasure card, the person who won can choose to take this treasure card. Now that can be dangerous because this could be good or it could be bad, but you never really know. If you win and you have a treasure card and it just happens to be one of those cursed treasure cards, you can actually choose, instead of taking something from someone, you can actually give them this treasure card, which basically telegraphs to everybody that it's cursed treasure, but you get the idea. In this particular case, I think what will happen is that they will take all of the gold out of one of their holds, and that will end that combat. And now green will go, and green will go forward to 1, 2, and whenever you land on a space that has these squares on it, that means you have to pay that amount of food because you're at sea and your crew is hungry. So you're going to go ahead and pay that. And then I'm going to get 4 cannons back. So I am ready to go for combat, and that will be the end of my turn. And that's basically how the game is played. When you land on these spaces, it's an amount of gold that you have to pay because you're docking in a port and you have to pay the port tax of whatever is there. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to race around the island of Jamaica here. The first player to get back to Port Royal is the one who triggers the end of the game. That round is finished, and then whomever is first, whoever triggered the end, is going to get 15 points to add to their total, and then this number tracks back all the way back to here, and so this is a number of positive points that you'll get if you end the game on that spot. But if you don't pass this line right here, you're going to get -5 points at the end of your tabulation. So what do you get points for? Well, you're going to get plus and or minus points for any treasure cards that you might have in your hold. So if it's green treasure, then it's going to be scoring you negative points. If it's yellow treasure, it's going to be scoring you positive points. You're also going to be able to score 1 point for every gold coin that you have in your hold at the end of the game. And that number combined, in addition to the number that is on the space where you left, or the -5, whoever has the most points is the winner. All right, so that's how you play Jamaica. It is not a difficult game, comparatively speaking. I would say that there are easier games out there to play, absolutely. There are also very much harder games to play out there, but I have been able to use this game in a number of different circumstances with a number of different levels of gamers throughout the years, and I can say that generally speaking, while it hasn't been for everybody, I've had feedback on both positive and negatives about the game and how people have felt about it. But generally speaking, people, when they play this game, they have a good time. It just seems like there's the perfect amount of tension as far as trying to get around the board. There's a lot of positive choices that you can make during the course of the game. But all in all, the general feeling that I've received in feedback over the years has been a very positive tone about this game because people are able to grasp the concept of racing. That's pretty simple. Rolling dice, using the pips to figure out how many resources you're going to get or how far you're going to move. That's a fairly simple concept as well. And many of the choices that you make are not very nuanced. I do understand that people will process information differently, so this could be more difficult for some, but I just haven't run into that. This is definitely a family weight game that I think a lot of different age groups will be able to come in around at a table. So do take that into mind. But let's go ahead and get to my pros and cons. My first pro of the game is the artwork and graphic design on this game is absolutely stunning. It does have a really cool little thing about it that each of these cards, actually, if you put them end to end in just the right sequence, they actually make a panorama of one singular painting, and I think that's a really neat thing that you can take time if you wish. But even beyond that, the artwork on the board is splendid. It's also helpful. The graphic design, that's where the graphic design came in. Areas you're going to have to pay gold to. It's very clear what areas you're going to have to pay food for. It's also very clear where all of the treasure chests are going to go. So, you know, it's one of those games that uses its artwork in a very functional way. I just think it makes use of beautiful artwork in a positive way, and that's why it's my first pro. My second pro is the fact that they used simple mechanisms to put the game together. And I think that's important in a family weight game because you're usually going to have a large spectrum of people that are gamers. You're going to have new gamers, you're going to have seasoned gamers, you're going to have people that are in between there. And it's important for a game like this to have those kinds of mechanisms in it that will appeal to a wide range of people. And I think this definitely does it. Rolling dice for movement, while personally it's kind of an archaic way to move yourself around a board, it works in this game because of the level of game that it is. But it doesn't just stop there. I also like dice resolution combat, and this is a very simple form of dice resolution combat. It's just one die roll against one die roll, and whoever has the most is the winner. Now you add to that the fact that you can use cannons, but again, that's not a very complex addition, so it still works in that simple category. The fact that it's a race, trying to get around the island first, is very understandable, and it kind of hits home. Racing is something that we all know and love, right? So there's so many different things in here that are very simple, but all of them put together make a very nice package, so that's why that's my second pro. My third pro comes with scoring, and the reason that scoring is a pro is because there has been a little bit of a movement recently where scoring can be kind of difficult in games. You know, you spend you spend your time playing the game, and then at the end, it's almost like you have to play another game, and that is count my points. And this is not necessarily what you have to do here. I mean, you do have to count points, but it's not very difficult. It's the gold that you got in your holds, it's the treasure cards, plus or minus, and it's the number that is in the space where you ended the game. Add those together, that's your score. It's a very simple thing, and I really enjoy the simplicity of the scoring in this game. And it's also I guess from a little bit of a negative point of view, it might be a little bit obvious who might be in the win right at any given point in time based upon where they are, how much gold they have on their boat, and how many treasure cards they've been able to pick up. But there's always that mystery, especially with those treasure cards, about who might or might not be in the first place position. One thing of note on this, though, don't lose heart if you aren't the one that ended the game. It has worked out many times where the person who ended the game actually did not win. So it does have that going for it, but I really enjoyed how simple the scoring is of this one, so that's why it's another pro. My final pro for Jamaica is going to be the component quality. I thought the component quality, even in just the base game, without all of the little bells and whistles that I have, even though there aren't a whole lot of them, they are good. And they're functional. None of them were overdone, which can be an annoying thing sometimes because you have this humongous first player token. While this is not small, it's not annoyingly large, so that it's going to take up too much room on the table. The wooden dice were nice and chonky. I like rounded corner dice as well. The cards are of good linen finished stock. I liked that. And the boats were neat little miniatures that were very much evoking that pirate theme. I enjoyed that as well. The the ship hold are nice, durable cardboard. And even the storage solution in the box was not only functional, but it also holds everything in its place as you aren't using them as well. Cards, the player boards, dice, they all have their spot in this box, and I think it's a really neat thing. So the component quality for this version, at the very least, I know there is a new version out there, but the component quality for this was really, really nice. Now, I only had one singular con for this game, and that was how they chose to print the rule book. I will say that I did like the little biographies of all of the pirates on the back. I did think that was cool, but I do not like these kinds of rule books that have to kind of fold out into, and look, here's the rules. Yeah, see, I don't like that. I think that's dumb, and I never did like it. Hopefully, and I've not seen a retail version recently, so they could have fixed that problem, but in my copy, it's the only con of the entire game is that stupid fold-out map rule book. That was... Anyway, that might be just a little personal rant. I apologize. But maybe, hopefully, the new version of the game doesn't have that. The new retail version doesn't have it. But that's the only con that I have. Now, I have to say that this is one of the games that I am very, very, very happy to have had in my collection for 13 years now. And even though it is 13 years old, I don't think it will ever leave my collection because I am comfortable enough with this game, and I think most of the people that I put this on a table with are comfortable enough with the theme, with the mechanisms that could be there, even if they don't know them. And that's one of the things that really makes this an evergreen for me. So I gave it 2 eye patches up earlier. Let's go ahead and just translate that to a 9 out of 10. I really have enjoyed this game over the years, and I am not going to get rid of it. If you haven't picked it up and everything that I've said here kind of sounds like something you would like, go check it out because it is well worth the mileage that you're going to get out of it with the price tag, whatever it might be at this point. I never look at that stuff before I do a review. So basically, with my rating here of a 9, I'm going to basically say that this has not only held its weight, it has actually grown in its usage, and I think that's a really great thing for this. So that's that for me, 9 out of 10. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Take care.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.